you kind of find your like trail family out there when you're just sharing hours over a day, and especially with like New England courses that tend to be kind of looped based courses. You like continue to see, friendly faces throughout the day, regardless of like, whether you're hours ahead or hours behind someone. You get to like kind of see them very often. So I love that aspect of it too.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 65 of the On the Runs podcast. We are back. We are in person. I am so excited. I feel refreshed. We had a little break. Erika, what is up? I am so happy to see you. Do you remember the last time we've been together for a podcast?
Was it Scott's house?
It was actually the week after Scott's house. It was for Jeannie when we messed up all our audio. So that was like June 19th. Scott's house was like June 12th or something like that.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's been quite a while.
So our last real the tros as we call them, was at Scott's house.
I'm honestly still shocked I have a job because your daughter pretty much stole the show and everybody loved her. And I'm like, well, do I get to do this anymore?
That was pretty. She's a natural. It took a little bit of focus. She wanted to keep doing things with the microphone, like or touching it.
Yeah.
Right.
You got to teach her not to.
Right.
I mean, hey, that's where I get caught up sometimes.
But she knew who Scott was, so it made it easier. Oh. My favorite was bringing it back for the outro.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Scott, for coming on the pod.
So it's okay when she does it, but not when I do it. I get it. I see where we're at.
She was awesome. It was so good. And we had a few people reach out and say like how adorable it was and how you should be worried about your job, which is not the case.
I said between Adeline and Nicole, I'm gonna get fired.
Well, you should not be worried about your job because we don't get paid for this job.
No, I know. Nobody wants to do it.
Actually, if you want, you can help support us on Patreon, but that's for another time. This is fun.
It's a shameless drop.
It's you and me. It's the E squared. And This is a blast. I'm so excited to be back in person. I feel like we found a routine.
Mm-hmm.
We go hard from January to your birthday.
Yep.
My birthday is about 3 weeks after, so we take about a month off. Now we still keep dropping a pod.
The classics, man.
The classics.
You drop the classics, the short little recaps and stuff.
The best of for Scott. Right. Like that was a perfect timing for the series.
Oh yeah.
And then we'll go hard again August to the end of November. In the middle, we'll have our breast cancer awareness month in October. Mm-hmm. And then we kind of take December off for Christmas, but we're not off.
Yeah, we still drop some content.
And we still recorded content, but we just, took our foot off the accelerator a little bit.
Yeah.
And relaxed and enjoyed some vacation, some personal time. So, like, what did you do? What did you do in the past month?
You asked me this, and I was like, what the hell did I do?
Right.
What do I always do? I went running. But where did I go running? That's the fun part. First off, I have to say I finally got to meet all of the penguins for our Ultra Penguin team.
That's right.
Reach the beach this year. And we randomly selected our legs. But this was even before they finalized the course. So we don't even know what we're doing yet. That was so fun. We got to go to Karen's house. Karen's got a beautiful house. Her dogs are awesome. She lives on a lake.
What was the road like? You mentioned the road.
My car almost bottomed out. It's a dirt road. I have a very small car, very low to the ground. I think I maybe went 7 miles an hour.
Wasn't she like, hey, if any of you don't think you can make it, just park at the end and I'll come pick you up?
She's going to come get me. But it was fine. There was no potholes. I mean, the crazy storms that we've been getting hadn't hit at that point. So
that's right.
So yeah, it was manageable. But so that was a fun time. Yeah, I got to meet our new team members and old and new faces like Denise, your replacement.
Yep. Well deserved. I'm glad. You know what?
It's going to be so much fun.
I'm super excited and happy for Denise. So before we even started the podcast, I signed up on a Reach the Beach team, and we're the leopard seals. If you remember,
yeah,
a leopard seal is the number one predator of a penguin.
Yeah. How rude, right? Still.
So a college friend of mine, his wife, ex-wife now, wanted to do the team, and we were talking at like a Friendsgiving, let's do it.
Yeah.
And so I found 5 people. Jay was one of them. Denise was another.
Yep.
And she found her 5 people. She's in a run group. So I had my 5 people. I got Denise on board and Jay's on board and I forget who else. And she has her 5.
Yeah.
Well, then COVID happened. So everything got pushed back a year. We already paid our money. It's no big deal. Sometime during COVID, divorces happened. Run group disintegrated.
Really?
And so when we're like 6 months out, we're emailing, nothing happens. 4 months out, hey, no one responded to the email. Let's email again. 2 months out, we still haven't heard. And finally, I had to go through my friend who happens to be her brother-in-law to reach out and find, and they're avoiding us, or she's avoiding us. Who had,
because you all paid her, right?
We had, she had our money, which, okay, it was $140. But I felt really bad for the people that I
brought in. Yeah.
And they don't know who I almost said her name. They don't know who she is, who they gave her money to. I don't see her anymore. I don't know anything. I actually do know a few things. I know she's pregnant.
It's just drama. Anyways.
But so I'm really happy for Denise to be back on and do her first Reach the Beach, because she said she really wanted to do this. And I tried to get her to join the Penguins last year, or I was going to try if another spot filled up, because I was really a fill-in. Yeah. And I just knew I couldn't do it with Ashley's new job,
right?
Working nights. And that's like, I would need to get a babysitter for a minimum of 3 nights.
Oh, yeah. Because it's a huge commitment. You got the Thursday night driving up there, you got all day Friday, and then you're really not home until Saturday night.
And even after I said, because I'm actually texting Karen right now, even after I said, I don't think I can do it. And I told Karen first, because she's like our team lead.
Yeah, she's the captain.
And then I made a group chat, and I'm still in the group chat, which I really like. I hope I don't.
We're leaving you. I have your favorite colors. I am going to get you the team thing that I am doing for the.
That's what the favorite color thing was. I was curious. I thought, honestly,
I don't want to ruin it, but I think you already know.
I forgot, but it was you.
We'll talk later.
You asked me that before my birthday, so I thought you were trying, but. Okay, it's not my birthday, which is cool. So I'm still getting a birthday surprise. I'm waiting on it. We're recording. We'll see when it happens.
Oh, you're not getting a birthday surprise. You got your water bottle.
Talk about the water bottle.
Your water bottle.
You ordered water bottles.
Yeah, which you don't even have a water bottle today.
Actually, I have it.
Where is it? Oh,
it's over there, or it's in my truck still. I had 2 in the truck. Both of them are the reusables.
Oh, very nice.
Including yours. I've used yours so much. I did drop it the other day, and it has.
Did it hold up or no?
It held up, but it obviously has like a It didn't nick the paint. But you can tell where it fell.
Oh, yeah.
It's a tough bottle.
Yeah,
I love it.
Be.
So she got me a water bottle. You guys saw the reels. I posted it, and it has the On the Runs logo, the one with the toilet paper.
Yep.
We'll get to that with t-shirts, and it has my name on it. And you got yourself your own?
Yeah, they're personalized. So I just thought it would be a little cool thing. It's in as close to the On the Runs blue as we could get it. And
it's like a teal.
Yeah, they didn't have anything closer.
People have noticed it too, and they're like, that's so cool. People at work, like they're starting to pick on. I've been at the new office a year now. They're starting to pick on. I do a podcast. Some of them listen. They really like it.
Cool.
So
the more the merrier.
I think we need to talk about a few accomplishments. And then we'll get into our episode or interview with Patrick.
Yes.
And then we'll come back for the outro, and I can tell you what I did since all you did during the last month as you ran. I went on a mini vacation and had fun.
You had probably more fun than me.
I went off the grid. I kind of had then I had like a second vacation. I still need that vacation from a vacation, but we have some accomplishments to celebrate. While we're on break, still dropping episodes for you guys. You'll get an episode every Tuesday. I love the way that we do this. We've hit every Tuesday this year except one.
That's pretty damn good. Yep.
But we hit 10,000 downloads.
We did?
10,000
How did we? When did that happen?
Downloads. It happened around the 4th of July. So it's been a couple weeks.
Where are we at now?
I knew.
I need to know.
I knew we were. I don't know. We're probably near 1,100 or something.
Oh, I'm so excited about that.
We hit 10,000 downloads. So a huge thank you to everyone who listens. I remember when I got the first email on day 1 that we had 10 downloads, and now we got 10,000. However, this is how fast we're growing. We are on pace by your birthday next year
Uh-huh.
to have 30,000 downloads.
30,000.
That is the trajectory
We
we're
are
on
very
right now.
close. We're at 10,749.
So we've
Even
had,
before this.
we've
this
had over
technical
1,000
episode.
downloads
Yeah, it drops.
during the time we took off alone. And
I'm
some people might
impressed.
be like, that's a lot or that's not a lot. Like,
It is for us. We appreciate every listen.
right. It is a huge amount for us, considering when you and I took this over really around episode 5,
Mhm.
we're at like 170. And last year, when the year ended in December, we weren't even at like 4,000 yet.
Damn.
So we've done like 6,000 to 7,000
Damn,
since
you
January.
guys, look what you did.
So that's huge. So thank you, everyone. Seriously, like
So many things.
10,000. What a cool number to see. And one day we'll probably be like 100,000 or a million. Like,
I'm not holding my breath, but come on, people, do your thing.
the 10,000 and the 10 and the 100, like those are big deals in my mind.
Oh, absolutely.
10, 100,000 million will be huge, but this is like
100,000 million.
this is the growth. Like, we're seeing it right now in front of our eyes, and that graph continues to climb. And thank you for everyone who shares and listens and tells people about the pod, because it catches and people are relating to this and the stories. So
We can't tell you how much we appreciate it.
big deal. It's a big deal.
It's such a big deal.
So I'm super excited. I never made any post or any reel about it. Like, I had things in mind. Do you remember the one where it's like, no one's going to follow your content, and then it's like they show the number, and sometimes the number is like 22, and sometimes it's like 10,000. Like, I was like, I'll do that, and then I never even got to it.
Wow.
Like, I was just so off the grid. I seriously was off the grid, and
you were.
it was nice and enjoyable. But the content is coming back. More awesome episodes are coming back. We have some big guests lined up. We're going to do more OTR live on YouTube. We're going to get more YouTube clips. Thank you, everyone. But that's cool. That's awesome. The other accomplishment is we surpassed 600 followers on Instagram.
Woohoo!
Like, that's growing. And again, like 600 is a small number or it's a big number. I don't know. You tell me. We didn't celebrate 500. We actually totally didn't celebrate 500.
All this means is that we are growing. And that's a step in the right direction.
And I really appreciate everyone who listens. So why don't we stop?
Yeah, we'll chit chat on the other side.
Yeah, let's get to our interview. Tell everyone who we got on board.
I'm very excited about this one. I actually had the pleasure of meeting him last year at the Anchor Down Ultra. He was doing some social media work for the crew, and we have Partick Caron. He is an incredible ultra runner, just out of this world. He's a really young kid. Like,
yeah, he's super young.
He's got so much more ahead of him, and he's just out there crushing it.
He does so much. Like, he does the FKTs. When I first met him at an Anchor Down, he's talking about his FKT on, I'll let you guys find out where, but I was like, what? You did an FKT of that time there? Holy cow. Like, you were legit and fast. I wasn't joking when I asked him about, could he win the Boston Marathon? I was not joking.
He's got some speed behind him, but not only that, he's just a really good guy. Like,
he does so much. He's doing the race directing.
Yeah, he's got his own like company.
Right.
He's trying to be environmentally friendly and just he wants to do a lot of good.
This guy's
he's
awesome.
got such a career and path ahead of him.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what's next.
This will not be the last you hear of Partick Caron. It will
absolutely not.
So you guys are going to love this.
And I get to see him again this year at Anchor Down,
weeks.
so I'm very excited about that.
Yes, I'm excited. So guys, enjoy our interview with Partick, and we'll see you on the other side. Our next guest on the pod, we had the pleasure of meeting last year at the Anchor Down Ultra. He's a local kid from Needham, Massachusetts, just south of us. We're in New Hampshire, of course. A professional athlete for Solomon. He's won numerous trail and road races throughout the year, setting dozens of course records and FKTs. You'll usually find him training right here on the rugged and technical trails of New England. He's the founder of Move Free. He's incredibly passionate about the New England running community. There's so much to say, but I am wicked excited to have Partick Caron on the On the Runs podcast. Is it Caron or Caron?
You got it right, Caron.
Yes.
Yeah. It is French Canadian, so if you're French, you could pronounce it differently, but I pronounce it Caron.
So I have one of those last names that no one knows how to pronounce either. So, Erika.
It's funny. My last name's actually kind of French Canadian too. It can be Hamel or Hamel. So I like having the fancy French like alternate saying. But Patrick, so good to have you. I mean, with that intro, I cannot wait to get into all of your like running history. But I have to say, it's really good to see you again. It's been almost a year since we first met you. So you were doing media coverage for Anchor Down?
Yeah.
Was that all you were there for? Just like hanging out and chilling?
Yeah, hanging out, chilling. It's I've been there several years now, so it's definitely a fun event to spectate and be a part of. So, and it makes it easy with the short course. So saw you guys very frequently.
That is true.
But yeah, happy to be here. Psyched to
Will you be there this year?
Oh, yes, yeah, planning on being there. Yeah, in I guess a little bit of a month from now or so.
I think it's exactly 1 month from now. That's I'm counting down.
Are you what?
Well, today is the 10th.
Are you going to be running this year or doing the same kind of thing?
Same thing as last year. So yeah, just I have the easy part. What about you? Are you back for more miles or?
I am back for more miles. I am doing the 12-hour again. I'm not quite ready to make the jump to the 24-hour, but it'll be great to see you out there once again.
For sure, yeah.
I hope to be there.
You hope. Okay, awesome.
I hope. We'll see what happens with kids and stuff. I told her you might need a backup or get someone else to do commit to crew support and leave me a wristband just in case I can make it.
Plan.
Yeah.
I'm
planning on it, but kids get in the way. We'll see. It'll be a week of decision. So, but yeah, that's when we met. That was so cool. We were new and we were like just kind of breaking into this podcast thing, and everyone goes to me, "Oh, you should meet Patrick," and I'm like, "Awesome! Who's Patrick?" And then in the past year, I've been following you, and I'm like, "This guy is legit." And you told me. We're going to go right to the Pemi Loop. You told me you had a goal to one day, you currently had the FKT of the Pemi Loop, but you want to do it in under 5 hours. And I go, you mean the 33-mile Pemi Loop in New Hampshire that takes most people 2 days to do? You want to do under 5 hours? I'm like, holy cow.
Yeah, I don't know. It's good to have crazy goals, reach for the stars, but yeah, I've spent a lot of miles on that loop. It's definitely one of my favorites, and really of any of the places I've run. And yeah, I know each time you run it, you realize like you can. I don't know. There's always room for improvement, especially with these longer distance stuff. You can always find minutes somewhere, so it's fun to have that goal to keep chipping away.
That's so crazy. I just think of that and it blows my mind. So when you're doing an FKT attempt, do you usually just do it solo, like self-supported, or do you have like your self-aid station set up, kind of like friends cheering you on? Like how do you go about doing an FKT?
Yeah, I've done a few in New England. I've done pretty sure all of them unsupported. I like I don't know. I like that style. If it allows for it, obviously with some, super long distance ones, it's kind of a necessary requirement to have the support. But with doing it unsupported, you kind of, you have full control, full freedom of the run. You can kind of do it whenever you want, start whenever you want, stop whenever you want. You're not dependent on anyone, and that's can be kind of nice. And there, you're also only dealing with like your own expectations, not like the expectations of other people, which like sometimes in a race that can, add some maybe added stress to the day. So I love that about FKT. But yeah, just kind of I generally am pretty familiar with the terrain of the routes that I've done for FKTs. So I'll either have, run it a bunch in training, or have studied it a fair amount, just like the GPX files and previous, attempts of the FKT. Just to I think it's really important for me, at least, to be connected with the history of the route. It kind of adds, meaning and purpose to the FKT attempt. So that's definitely something that I try to do. But yeah, then you kind of just the day of, I mean, it does feel a little weird. And when you're just like, I don't know, have an arbitrary like starting time and starting line, and no one else knows really what you're doing, and you just kind of have this. It's like, especially the Pemi Loop is funny with the bridge there at the Lincoln Woods like campground. Like it kind of creates this cool iconic like start finish crossing that bridge there. But it's also a little strange when everyone else is like going off, to start their hikes, and you're just like sprinting the bridge full speed. They're like, what the heck's going on here?
They wouldn't get it.
What? Okay, so tell me then, to get the FKT, is that kind of like an honor system, and you post your Garmin data on Strava or somewhere, or is there like a Guinness Book of World Records for FKTs that you can look up and find that someone ran this and go out there and try to do it? Like you post that you have the FKT of 5 hours, 45 minutes, and 12 seconds back in 2018. So is that posted somewhere on like a FKT website, or how do you find that info?
Yeah, so it's kind of both. I don't know, FKTs are funny in that they're both like official and unofficial. Like it's the fastest known time, so maybe someone's run it faster, but it's the fastest submitted time, I guess. And the fastest known time website, fastestknowntime.com, is where they're kind of the current governing body, I guess, of FKTs. And they make the rules, although it's somewhat like very community driven. So it's very much like just what the community decides in many ways, like what values and rules the community wants to make, I guess. And so, you just, beforehand, generally you're expected to announce your FKT attempt, make it public. If it's a longer route, usually there's sharing of tracking information, just so there's some maybe level of transparency to it. And then afterwards submitting like a trip report and your GPX file and, Strava links or photos or things like that. If you're doing it unsupported, you might not have people taking photos of you. So maybe you have some selfies on the route, or maybe not. But anything to like add to, just like add to the kind of, I don't know. For some of them, they require maybe more fact checking than others.
I think it's so cool.
Definitely, I really enjoy.
I do too. Yeah. I am not one for them.
I especially think it's cool that you have it on the Pemi Loop, because I've yet to hike the Pemi Loop. It is a bucket list hike for me. I kind of don't want to do it in 5 hours or even 10. I want to kind of enjoy the view. We can get to that later, because you run so fast. I want to know like what you actually see and enjoy. But that's so cool. Let's go to the beginning though. If you're a listener of this podcast, we never stay on track, but maybe we should go to the beginning. You're very young, so it wasn't that long ago you started running, and then you kind of got the ultra bug, and you were only like a young teenager with the ultra bug, right?
Yeah, I've been running like all of my life in some capacity, but kind of found ultras, or at least started running them when I was 18. I'd been exposed to them earlier and was definitely like a fan of the sport from afar, but kind of more focused on I was in high school at the time, so more focused on just, competing with my cross country team and my track team. And then as soon as I graduated high school that summer, just had all these lofty dreams and visions of getting into ultras, and just kind of went full into it. And that later that summer, early fall, kind of ran my first 2 ultras that fall. So kind of it was definitely a quick transition from your cross country 5K and track 2 mile to running 50 miles. But I think mentally I was like ready for it. Maybe not physically, but mentally, like I definitely someone who appreciates that the mental kind of side of running. And I think ultras really kind of suit people who are, up for the mental challenge. So, yeah.
Right.
So I have to ask, did you just jump from cross country right into ultras, or did you do any marathons beforehand, like any real distance training, or were you just like, I like this ultra community, I'm going right for it?
Yeah, I mean, I had done some shorter trail stuff, throughout high school, just in between my school races and things like that. But generally, like kind of 5K to 10-mile distance. And then that summer, similar, I think I did a few shorter trail races, but was kind of attending a lot of, no longer being part of like a school team. I was trying to find people to run with, since I really appreciate that aspect of running, just sharing it with people. And so finding just groups to run with, and a lot of the, I prefer, I guess, maybe, or yeah, I like the social outlet of running. And even though I'm a competitive person, don't necessarily want like hyper competitive environments to be in. And so I think I was very
Right.
much drawn to like the trail crowd, as opposed to maybe like a, post collegiate like track club or something like that in the Boston area. And so just running with New England Track and Trail was one group that I ran with quite a lot. Then Trail Animals Running Club, and just attending those group runs. I think you quickly come to realize, like, there's not in a bad way, but there's nothing necessarily special about like people who run ultras. Like, it's just ordinary people who do these like extraordinary, crazy things. And they're definitely special. But like, I guess my point is, like, it is more accessible than maybe you think. And
I totally agree with you on that.
yeah,
The trail running community is just so inclusive that, I mean, trail or road ultras, I feel like the longer the distance, the crazier people are, and the more they're welcoming everybody. So totally on the same page with
yeah. So I think that, like, quickly, maybe I didn't necessarily have the race experience for running 50 miles, a couple months after high school. But I think, like, I quickly realized, oh yeah, this is something that I'm capable of. And yeah, I just wanted to try it out. Really had no big expectations, other than just like, I want to try this. I want to, hopefully finish, and just see what it's all about. I was hoping I'd have a good experience, because I had all these other ultras that I, had seen throughout the years, and kind of had this just ongoing bucket list of races. But yeah, thankfully I really enjoyed my first one, and then kind of continued from there.
Which one was your first?
So my first one was the in September, the Tark Fall Classic, with Trail Animals Running Club at Great Brook State Park in Carlisle, Mass. Actually happens that I'm now like the race director of that race. Several years later, so that was in 2015, and I just became the race director of it this past year.
Very cool.
So kind of full circle, I guess, in some way. Even more full circle, because like I used to run 5K like in middle school cross country meets on that course, and I didn't really realize it when I ran the 50 miler, but like coming into the finish, I was like, whoa, this is like the same finish line from middle school. Like, yeah, just kind of wild.
Get some nostalgia with it, right? That's cool.
Yeah, so that was my first one, and then I kind of skipped the marathon distance, and then I kind of felt like, oh, maybe I should run like a road marathon, just to have done a road marathon. So I'd run Bay State. It was a couple weeks later, like maybe 2 or 3 weeks after the 50 miler. And then, another Tark race at the Fells in the Middlesex Fells. That was in November. So that was kind of my, like, you could say, that was my dipping my toes in, and then that spring I just went crazy with like a pretty much an ultra every weekend.
Every weekend. You are
I just
nuts.
went on this like
Didn't
wild
you?
streak of like literally, I think it was like 8 weeks straight of like just ultras around New England, from like 50K to 50 miles, just that spring of 2016. Yeah. So I definitely loved it right away.
I think it's safe to say you have natural talent too, because if you can keep up doing those distances like weekend after weekend, like you're good to go. So you found your niche.
Yeah,
You're all
maybe.
good.
Didn't you win one of those Fells Trails Ultras? Like one of your first ones?
Yeah. I won the.
Yeah, he didn't want to tell us. He's too humble. He didn't want to tell us he won his
He's
first
gonna dig
ultra
it
or his
out.
second.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, it was definitely exciting to win. I didn't really know going in, like I didn't really have. It's hard to have expectations like early on when you're running ultras. Just you have to be humble when you're running them because they can certainly like go south real quick too. But
One little stick, I swear to God, can throw off a whole race.
Yeah.
Well, just 1 year before you're running cross country in high school, like, are you winning those races too? Or was cross country really competitive because cross country was only like a 5K in the trails versus you're running now 40, 50 Ks?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of things where both, they're, obviously high school, like in Massachusetts, like cross country and track, they're very competitive. Like in high school, I did well. I was like a varsity athlete, in my time in high school, but I wasn't like anything exceptional. I wasn't like winning like national championships, things like that. So I did well, but I think I was never. I didn't feel like drawn or like maybe pushed in the like I enjoyed it and I loved the team aspect of it, but I always knew like running for like 10 to 16 minutes or whatever for like a race is I preferred 10 times that or whatever. And I liked, I guess, cross country a little more, just being on the trails. But yeah, I think I always knew that I was drawn to longer distances. There just maybe wasn't like the opportunity or like exposure like earlier on. So now I feel like now like there's quite a few more opportunities for youth in the trail running and ultra world. Like I think you see it a lot more just in the last, from 2015, that 8-ish years ago. Like I just feel like there was a lot less youth in the sport, but now it's a little more prevalent, which I think is exciting to be running a 50 miler, exciting to see. But yeah, at the time, like it was definitely very strange for like I feel like an 18-year-old, or just like the crowd. It's just a much older crowd, I guess. But people were more than welcoming and super supportive, and you kind of find your like trail family out there when you're just sharing hours over a day, and especially with like New England courses that tend to be kind of looped based courses. You like continue to see friendly faces throughout the day, regardless of like whether you're hours ahead or hours behind someone. You get to like kind of see them very often. So I love that aspect of it too.
I think that's why I keep going back to the loop courses. It's just very supportive and friendly. Like exactly like you said, you have your little trail family, and the more you get to see them, the happier I am. It boosts my spirits more than anything. And just getting a little like, woo, you're doing great from other people. It just like, it's a pick me up that you can't buy that.
Totally.
And that's why I loved going and supporting you at Anchor Down and Hamster Wheel, because I saw you a lot, and I saw everyone hung out in one area versus like I could imagine, because Badwater was just last week. That's not a loop, so everyone's kind of like just following their runner, and the community or the people around, you don't see them as often. Where I met Callie's team and her friends from like Syracuse, New York, or Rochester, whatever it was. And we hung out the whole time, and we would see you all every 20, 25 minutes. It was so much fun.
yeah, it's
That's why I'm
definitely,
gonna keep coming back.
yeah, I love, yeah, it does, yeah, like, I think, yeah, if you have like less looped base, maybe you like kind of have this smaller group of people that you tend to like leapfrog the course with, and you maybe get to know a few other family members or crew. But definitely when it's like a smaller loop, and where it makes it easy for the crew and for family and for spectators, because they can just stay in one place the whole time. And so it just like allows for,
Hmm.
yeah, just a lot more, almost like you're like around a like campfire together or something, like a hypothetical
Yes.
fire.
That's how I advertise this podcast with new people who have no clue what they're getting into. I go, it's kind of like we're hanging out at the campfire with a couple drinks, just getting to know each other. So now I'm just going to
Yep.
say this podcast is kind of like a
No,
loop ultra marathon where we're just hanging out in the aid station, getting to know each other, or like walking on the trail at ADU, because we all walk it at night because of the routes, Erika.
Oh yeah.
yeah, that was rude.
Danger.
Those routes can be brutal sometimes. So yeah, I can only imagine though, going to the cross country thing, your cross country coach being like, a year later, you're winning a 40-mile ultra, like, Patrick, holy cow. It must have been so cool. Like, I can't imagine, but as an 18-year-old doing an ultra like that and just, I don't know, winning that's just so cool, man. And then you just kept going. So
I like that you're a local runner, and just hearing that you've done a whole bunch of you do the local mountains, but you do all the trail races that I'm familiar with. Like, so you were waitlisted at Eastern States. When you got off the waitlist, were you training for this just in case you got in? How did that happen?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, as I was saying, like that spring, I was just running a lot of ultras, and so I wasn't necessarily training for maybe the specificity of the course, but I definitely was just kind of always training. And so I felt
You
like
had the
I could
miles.
jump
That's
in
good.
something. Yeah, I had the miles.
Hmm.
Definitely the heat was like a big factor. But I felt like, at the time I was working at like a running store, and I tended to, usually run before work, but then also go out on like my break midday. So kind of in the middle of the day for, you know, a few miles. So I definitely like
Hmm.
had maybe some heat training from that. But there was also like a lot of unknown and just being naive going into your first 100 miler, and um, more on like the gear side. I just like, I never had run with like a vest really. I literally was like
Hmm.
unpacking the vest from like on the car ride to Pennsylvania, like just like I had never worn it before. And so like just like on the gear, like training wise, I think I was prepared, but obviously gear counts for quite a bit too, like in 100
Right.
miles, and I just had not practiced quite a lot of that stuff. Um, but I think it all worked out okay. I learned a lot. I had, a really good time, and it definitely may set me up well for Ghost Train, which was about 2 months later. Ghost Train felt like a walk in the park compared to to that. So,
That's good to
I
hear.
mean, yeah. So I think that helped just maybe wrap my mind around the distance a little bit more. And Ghost Train is special just because of Eastern States is just one big loop. You're not covering the same terrain at all, in which is really cool. But then you're also on your own almost the entire time. Like I was not really running with really anyone, and just seeing people at the aid stations. But
Hmm.
Ghost Train, outside of the first loop, after the first, I guess, 7.5 mile out to Milford, then you come back, and then from then on for the next however many hours, you're seeing hundreds of people like every hour. And so I really loved that, and I had known a few people from just like the New England trail scene, but I didn't really have a lot of close connections with people, and I went there just like without a crew, kind of by myself.
Oh.
And yeah, but like by the end of it, like people like were, just offering help and support. I definitely was like unprepared for like, I wasn't really thinking about like after the race and like driving back home, like, and like sleeping that night and things like that. So, someone like kindly offered like their sleeping bag and their tent to me because
That's
I was
awesome.
freezing. And yeah, so like people were super generous. And that, you know, that first experience at Ghost Train is what's kept me coming back like year after year, either to run or to volunteer and to, you know, provide that support to other people. So yeah, I'll definitely be there this fall.
Excellent.
Yeah.
You're going to be there too, Erika.
Yeah, so I'm going to be running, so I'll see you in some capacity. I really love that if you're not going to run it, that you're willing to volunteer and give back to the community, because it is such a fulfilling experience to volunteer and just get a chance to be on the other side of things, to cheer and support, and it's awesome. So I love that you do that, because you volunteer quite a bit, don't you?
Yeah, a fair amount. I think like
Mhm.
yeah, I just really value the community side of running. And so regardless of whether, you know, yeah, whether or not I can race, in some ways like volunteering can be more fulfilling, I guess, just in that like if you're racing, like you can have like a really special day and like, but that's like one special day, whereas like if you're volunteering
Mhm.
you can make like 500 people have a special day, like you, or like be a part of like 500 people's other. So I think that is really cool. Yeah, I don't know, I definitely want it to be this, running to be this thing that I share with other people, because like yeah, other people have given me so much through running that it feels like important to, I guess, be yeah, be on the other side of that too, whether it's volunteering or race directing or yeah, crewing, pacing, whatever it is. I like that.
I
That's
want to
awesome.
go.
I totally applaud you for that.
Yeah, buddy. You mentioned it. I just want to go back to it, race directing. How did that come complete circle? How did the race directing part come into that race you just did?
Yeah, with the fall classic, race directing that.
Right.
I been attending like TARC races for quite a while, and TARC, I'm sure you guys are familiar with it, but for people who aren't, you know, it's a club here in the greater Boston area with generally a race almost every month, and then also group runs at Blue Hills and also Great Brook Farm State Park. And yeah, I've just been running quite a few of their races just because they are so kind of low key. These just like, yeah, just these super low key, fun, community oriented events. And having run all of their races, you just kind of, I just was kind of familiar and had a lot of friendships with many of the organizers and the race directors. And it just came like, you know, it's totally volunteer based. You know, it's a nonprofit. All of the proceeds from the events go back to the trails that the races are held on. And so being volunteer based, like it, obviously race directing takes up quite a lot of time, especially ultras. And so, you know, there's transitions with race directors. And so it just came about that the fall classic opened up and they were looking for a race director, and Josh Katzman from the Trail Animals, who's current like president of the club, he reached out and just said, look, we need a race director, we're trying to find one. Yeah, like, and I just felt like it was hard to say no, you know. Yeah, I think the biggest thing was like, oh, I like race directing like means maybe you can't run the race anymore. So that's like the one maybe downside. But also I've like thought about it and I'm like, I could probably run the race that I direct. Like, you know, Dave McGivery does that at the Boston Marathon, so I think I could pull it
Right.
off at an ultra. So one of these years, maybe I'll run and race direct.
I love it.
Erika just did her first race directing a couple months ago, so I love to hear that you do it too, and that all these other runners,
Oh,
as I drop my
awesome.
phone
That's
there,
great.
are doing race directing and getting into it like you and Erika. So I think that's awesome.
Honestly, I feel the same way too about that, like not being able to run one of your favorite races. It's so cool to be able to put it on, but you get a little bit of FOMO, like you don't get to do it yourself. So I think I might start doing that, running it
Yeah.
afterwards.
Well, it can be a New England tradition that Dave McGilvery started, and Patrick continued, and Erika will follow suit.
Absolutely.
Let's get away from the racing. Let's get away from New England and even the country. Let's go to Austria. Tell us about the Solomon Running Academy in Austria.
Yeah, that came about in 2017. So I was, I guess just under 2 years into running ultras, and Solomon at the time was hosting these running academies where they kind of brought like up and coming athletes from around the world to different destinations. And that year in 2017 was Innsbruck, Austria, and I guess had enough results to get on their radar as yeah, just a U.S. kind of younger athlete coming into the scene, and was given the opportunity to go in to this 1 week kind of training camp slash like almost yeah, I mean, they call it academy, like, because they're kind of teaching you what it's like to lead the life of like a professional athlete. So you get kind of this exposure to that and work with other more seasoned athletes in the sport who kind of can share some of their experiences, and then also meeting different people on the brand side. So just like, the marketing like side of the sport, because being a professional athlete is more than just the running, I guess. And so being exposed to all of that. So yeah, I went out there and met all these other athletes from around the world, from Germany, from Nepal, from South
That's
Africa.
so
Like, there
cool.
were just bunch of young like runners, and we all just played in the mountains for a week in Austria. um Super special. I had never been to Austria before. There's maybe some similarities to New England trails, but it's definitely a whole different level of of running. So yeah, that's how that came to be. And then from there, kind of my journey with Solomon kind of continued. Just after that, kind of just more opportunities presented themselves.
Do you have any other sponsors right now? Who are you working with?
Yeah, so yeah, I've continued working with Solomon in different capacities, and then some other brands just like on and off throughout the years, include like Drymax, the sock brand, um, and also Inside Tracker I've worked with, and a company out of New Hampshire locally, Trigger Pin, they're T-pin like rollers, so like this recovery tool. I definitely like love to work with other New England like oriented brands. I think there's a lot of I just want like more spotlight on New England, both like
Mm-hmm.
both the brand side and the race side and the clubs, just anything New England running related. I love to try to help support and highlight. So yeah, that's kind of where I've gone, and then I guess maybe a good next point would be starting my own brand. Move
That's
Free,
right.
which, yeah, that kind of like stemmed from wanting to continue to give back to definitely like to the New England running scene, and then just also to like the landscapes we run on, both like regionally and nationally.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was born in 2019. from that kind of hope just to give back on a larger level, and really just started with like one single hat. I was like, okay, what's a cool way I can spread my message and share it with other people? I'll create a fun hat for people to wear. So that's how it all started, and then it's kind of gradually evolved since then to be kind of a both a apparel brand, but also an experience oriented brand. So I've kind of dived into leading kind of curated like running retreats in New England. So we just had one in Acadia National Park a couple of weeks ago, and hoping to do more of that. Just I definitely like the apparel side, but I definitely really value the people side. So connecting with people through these retreats and experiences, is really special.
Let's talk about Move Free a little more, because you started the brand. So we've had on YouTubers, we've grown a YouTube channel. We're a podcast trying to grow a podcast. We've had authors who have written books, and they told us about the process to write a book. What's the process you had to go through to start Move Free? In fact, the YouTuber who we had on, by the way, he just wrote a book, and he did it all with like environmental friendly paper and ink and everything. And I kind of think that would be right up the alley of Move Free, kind of where you're going with this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's like a combination. Like, I'm definitely someone who will maybe spend like too much time kind of preparing and thinking about something. So it's finding the balance between being thoughtful and also just trying things out. So yeah, for me, it was like important not to just create another. I don't know. There's obviously a lot of apparel brands in the running space and in the outdoor space. And so finding like kind of that unique, just like, what was unique to Move Free? What was unique to our mission? What's unique to our values? Tying that into the local community. So kind of starting from that point, and then, starting with the why, I guess, and then kind of building from there. And then like finding people to work with and support you, whether that's on like the brand like development side, or just from ambassadors and partnering with races and things like that. So just really like putting yourself out there and trying to connect with as many people as possible has been probably the most helpful thing in kind of the brand evolving.
Where can others who are listening right now find Move Free?
We are online, movefreedesigns.com, and also Move Free Designs on social media. And then I tend to every now and then pop up at local races in New England. So I've been at Ghost Train the last couple of years, selling merchandise there, and we donate the proceeds back to the Brookline and Milford Conservation Commissions, which are the two land organizations that help run the Ghost Train Rail Trail race. I'll be at Vermont this weekend to support that event in Vermont Adaptive. So sometimes in person, but there's only one of me, so it's a little hard to be everywhere. So the online side of things is a little easier. And then our retreats, and then we also launched like a run club, Move Free Run Club, that has a chapter in Acadia National Park in Bar Harbor, Maine, and then also in Saco, Maine. So that's just like a free open to the community run club, just like provide another way for people to connect and both new runners and experienced runners, just like a way to connect out on the trails. Those are the current places you can find us.
If I remember, and I try to do a good job at this, I will put it in the show notes. And Erika,
Okay.
when you're listening to this later after and you hear me say that and you check the show notes and they're not there, remind me. I'll put Move 3 in the show
Will
notes
do.
for everyone to find. Yeah.
I got you. So, Patrick, so tell us a little bit. What was your qualifying race to get into Boston? Was it Bay State, like that your first marathon that you were telling us about?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it was. I did qualify at Bay State, but I didn't. The Bay State's in October.
That's
The
right. So
lottery's
it
in
would have been.
September, so I kind of missed
Mhm.
the lottery window. But what ended up happening is the Boston Bulldogs Running Club, which launched in October of 2015, which I've been kind of a part of from the beginning. I ended up meeting Jack Foltz, who, for those who don't know, kind of a running legend, but he won the Boston Marathon back in the 1970s. And I met him at an event, I think in January of 2016, that we were both speakers on this panel for.
Mhm.
And he was kind enough to connect me with a bib for the Boston Marathon a couple months later. And so, yeah, similar.
Awesome.
I couldn't say no to that. So I thought I had to wait another year, but yeah, it turned out, yeah, I was able to get in. And then I've just kind of used, since I prefer the trail side of things, I just kind of use Boston as my qualifier every
I
year.
mean, good for you.
But yeah, that's yeah. So 2016 was my first one, and then this past spring was, I guess, my 8th Boston Marathon.
Going strong too. Yeah, I was just so blown away. You looked so strong at mile 19 when usually people are questioning their life choices and
Yeah.
just not having such a fun time. So to see you just like fresh and happy, I believe you were smiling the whole way. You had a nice little pack of people you were with and you just whoop right by.
Yeah, no, I mean the energy at Boston is like electric, and that, yeah, it definitely helps push you along the course. So yeah, I appreciate you guys being out there cheering everyone on.
We were tracking you, and I was very sick that day. I managed to get up and go. Like I was like, I got the energy to do it today. And so I'm cold. I got my hat on and everything. And I'm like, all right, Erika, you just tell me when. She goes, Patrick's coming. Oh, there he is. and because we're tracking, and then I'm like, oh, all I saw was his back, and I had no voice. I'm like, go, Patrick.
I felt it. I felt the energy.
Mm-hmm.
You actually wrote, I found on your website, you have like a paragraph or two about maybe it was your first Boston Marathon experience. Was it 2016?
Yeah.
Tell us about the energy that you got from there. You wrote about it, and you even wrote about seeing friends and family at your first one, and just like how cool that experience was running in the Boston Marathon, being so close to home.
Yeah, being from Needham, Massachusetts, like where my parents live now is only a mile from I guess around halfway Wellesley section of the course. So I've always like knew about Boston and would spectate when I was younger. So it was always in my mind wanting to run it. I didn't necessarily think that I'd want to maybe keep running it year after year, but it definitely captivated me that first year. I think just um, yeah, it's definitely a unique thing, and I think being from there, you see people that you've met throughout the years, like along the course, all the way from Hopkinton to Boston. So people who I haven't maybe even seen in years, like my kindergarten teacher, who I probably hadn't seen since kindergarten, was like out spectating and recognized me, and I recognized her, and yeah, things like that, where like you come to know all these people throughout the course, and you just kind of are keeping your eye out for them, and then yeah, just the amount of energy that the spectators provide, pretty much from the beginning to the end. There's very few very few spaces along the course where you're not getting screams from the crowd. So that's really cool and definitely different than the trails where you might not see anyone for the entire day.
Yeah, man, that was my first ever experience at the Boston Marathon when we saw you and everyone else. And Erika's been there many times. She ran it that year in the rain when
Oh,
it rained
wow.
and snowed and
The
everything.
terrible, terrible day.
Good for you. Yeah. Dude, that was a rough one.
So you've done it 8 years. Like, is that 8 in a row? And do you have goals to like streak the Boston Marathon?
Yeah, I mean, as long as I can, I'll keep doing it. Obviously, don't want to take it for granted, but I'm hoping I'll continue to, be able to run it year after year. I mean, there's people who have run it Dave has done it 50 plus years, I think, at this point. There's some wild streaks out there, but I got the earliest start I could at 18. You got to be 18 to run, so I'm not catching up because they keep going.
There you
but,
go.
I mean, I'm holding steady.
You got a good start at least. That's great. Yeah, we got our one of our pod fam friends, Mike Beeman, who has 45, 46 years.
40 this year was 46. We had him on last year after 45. He's so cool too, dude. He has this cool thing called the Beeman score, or is it Beeman points?
Okay.
And he takes
score, yeah.
He takes the temperature, the humidity, and the dew point and adds them up, and that's his Beeman score. And so anything over 200 is like brutal out there. So yeah,
I like
summer is pretty
cool.
fun. Like I just did a 240 run the other day, and I was like, this sucks. It's just miserable. That's why.
He will send me video recordings, send it DM on Instagram, and he'll go, he lives in Georgia now, Southern Georgia too, I think. He'll go, Beeman score 287 today.
Wow.
just to brag, just to tell me.
Yeah.
I want to say something, Patrick. This is why I love you, because we're not a podcast that brags about running times or victories so much, because most people we have on the pod, we're not winning races or getting FTKs. But you briefly talked about Eastern States 100 and how that was a hard race and an eye-opener. You finished second overall. And if you look at your race results on your website, you got like every year, every race, 90% of those say things like first place overall, first new course record. They say things like fastest or the youngest in the top 100. Like, kudos to you, man. You got it. You put in the work. You keep going. You do so much good for the community here in New England. You got your move free. You're doing so many good things. So you're very humble, and I love that about you. But I just want to give you major kudos and props to everything you're doing out there running, and even when you're not running, dude. You're the man.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I mean, I definitely like have the competitive side to me, but also like, I want to just like the guy that you were just talking about, 46 Boston marathons. Like that's what I want to have, like that longevity in the sport. And I just want to be like a lifelong runner regardless of, the competitive side of things. And so I try not to get like too attached, I guess, to results, just because they're only so much, and they're all relative anyways. Like, I don't know, like, yeah, I've run some fast times, but then like, yeah, it's all relative. I don't know. It's just like, there's people who have done way crazier things, or so it's more just trying to have fun with it.
Why don't you tell me about then? Why don't you brag or do whatever you got to do? Tell me about the Boston Bulldogs.
Yeah, Boston Bulldogs are super, just like, close to my heart. The founder, Mike Ferrulo, really, really incredible, great guy. He social worker in Boston, and he's been in recovery, is in recovery himself. And in 2015, I happened to be working at kind of right down the street from where you guys saw me on the Boston Marathon in Washington Square, just like a mile up the road. I worked at Brookline Marathon Sports for a while, and Mike's office was like right next door to Marathon Sports, and he would always come in and shop for shoes. He's a very stylish guy, and he's in his 70s now, I think, but still very stylish. And he was telling me about the Boston telling me at the time about his kind of vision for a running club that supported people in recovery from addiction, but not just people in addiction, but people who have been impacted by addiction, so friends, family, like just the community at large, and just how running is like a great like avenue for wellness and for recovery. Just the connection that comes from running, like he really valued, similar to like what I valued, is just the way, like, one of the things he talks about is like in isolation we suffer, and like in community we heal. And I really, I guess, appreciated his vision, and quickly said yes to like trying to help him get this kind of club off the ground. And so a couple of weeks later, we started hosting weekly runs at Chestnut Hill Reservoir right there in Cleveland Circle. And now it's wild to me like how far the club has come since those first few runs. But yeah, now there's like multiple chapters around Massachusetts, and I was the first, like, I think, runner for the Boston Bulldogs for like the marathon, but they have like charity bibs. And like this year we had like 15 plus athletes like representing the Bulldogs at the Boston Marathon, which was super special. And yeah, so that's kind of the Bulldogs in a short time. But they also have the Run for Recovery race in Franklin Park in Boston every May, and I helped direct that the first couple of years, and kind of continue to go back to that. But they've just done like a really incredible job of, I mean, literally like saving people's lives. And it's just like, yeah, it just like adds another level of purpose to my own running, to be like part of that club and part of that organization. But yeah, they do more road stuff, but I'm trying to get more of them into the trails, get a few more trail converts. So a few of them have started running on trails, and they have a weekly Sunday trail run. So I'm hoping to see some of them at the Fall Classic this year, since I direct that one. And yeah, I think they'll fit in well with the ultra crowd.
Well, let's pump the tires for the Fall Classic you got coming up then, because this is going to be out well before that. This will be out before Anchor Down. But let's pump the tires, and maybe we'll see if Erika has a free weekend and she can go to that one too.
I was just going to say that. I'm very interested, so do tell.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, the Fall Classic, early September, and we have distances from 10K, 10K, half marathon, 20 miler, 50K, 50 miler. And then new this year is a free youth fun run, just for any younger athletes who might want to come out and enjoy the trails, or parents with kids that in between their own races want to get their kids out there. And trails are beautiful. It's at Great Brook Farms State Park. They're kind of rolling terrain.
Oh, I work right down the street.
Oh, wow.
Wait, what town is that in?
It's in Carlisle, Massachusetts.
Is that right next to Billerica?
Yeah, it's right there.
Dude, my office is 3 miles from that farm.
Oh, wow. Well,
yeah,
you gotta
I've yet to go run in the farm. I've yet to go run there, but I bike through there on this one road, a very bumpy road, so I don't take the bike there often. Dude, I work right down the street from that farm.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it's a great spot. They do like Nordic skiing in the winter. Yeah, it's really nice, and just like at least I try to make the event kind of appear very like beginner friendly, but also for those who are maybe more competitive seasoned athletes, it's also very PR friendly as well. If you're kind of chasing that side of things. And we'll probably have close to 600 athletes across all the distances. So yeah, there's a good crowd out there.
What are the dates?
Yeah, September 9th this year, September 9th, 2023. And
Erika's checking the calendar.
yeah,
Gonna have
get
to
on the calendar.
afterwards,
It's
yeah.
Saturday. Yeah, an early start for the 50K and 50 miler, and then a little bit later of a start for the other distances. So yeah, if you can't make it this year, one of these years, come out.
Definitely.
Erika, it's the weekend before Reach the Beach, so a 50K warm up for Reach the Beach. Also.
Oh yeah,
Honestly,
Perfect.
I think I'm not running a race that weekend, but I have a wedding.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not sure I can swing it. It's going to be in Maine, too. I'm going to be
Not
in
cool.
Maine.
Yeah,
So.
it's a classic wedding weekend.
Not cool.
If it was going to be like Labor Day weekend, that's my anniversary weekend, and I would have been like, yes, I'm in. I could have totally swung that, but I will definitely put that in the calendar for 2024 because I don't live very far. I'm only in Nashua, so that's still only like a half an hour. It's very close.
Yeah, it's pretty
not
close.
far.
Yeah, there's a good contingent from that area that come out.
Love it.
So yeah,
maybe I'll be good at trails by then. I'm going to have a lot of trail practice coming up this year, so I'll try to keep it up and get good at the trails.
Awesome.
I love you, man, and we've all been here trying to like get through the technology issues here. So I don't know if you'll be able to see this. We have two big final questions. These are the biggest questions of every podcast interview we do. Okay, Erika's is a little more extreme. We'll get to it after. Mine's pretty easy. I find a random Instagram photo. I go digging through your Instagram, and I'm like, okay, I want to know the story behind this photo. I come across a photo in 2018 where you were the 2017 Mystic Runner of the Year. So I think Mystic Runners is a running group, but that's not what I want to ask you about. I want to ask about the girl in the photo, because the girl in the photo, not only did I go to college with, I lived in the same house as her.
What? That's
How
wild.
do you know Bethany Mayo?
Through the Mystic Runners. Yeah. So, I think we did many like mountain, the USATF like mountain series races together, but she's a Mystic Runner. I was a Mystic Runner. In 2016 and 2017, I definitely had like the racing crazies, and, the Mystic Runners do like a weekly 5K on Wednesday nights. So I'd often like drive out after work to like run the 5K around the Lake Q there. So that's how I kind of came to meet the club. And then, a lot of them do the mountain races up in New Hampshire. So I'd often like drive up there with them on the weekends. That's how I know Bethany and the Mystic crew. But that's wild that you live.
Small world. Yeah. Now I say we lived in the same house. Yes, we lived under the same roof, but the houses at Plymouth State, Erika, they're basically like multifamily.
Yeah.
So I lived in one section of the house. She lived in the other.
Okay.
But that's when I met her and got to know her, and I worked at the bar, and she came down drinking at the bar, and I'm creeping your Instagram. And I'm like, I think that's Bethany Mayo, who I haven't seen. And actually, the last time I saw her, Erika, was at the TI 10 miler.
Oh,
the one year you got me out to do it.
very nice. You may have introduced me. I don't remember.
I think so, but we were not podcasting back then.
So we have ourselves a Spotify playlist, and we like to invite our guests to add a song to it. I mean, I can't imagine that you're out there running with music. You may, which would be awesome, but just whatever song pumps you up, like just makes you happy. Would you like to add a song?
Sure. Yeah. I'm definitely bad at picking favorites. I listen to music sometimes when I run, but one song I like, I don't know if it's necessarily like super like a hype song or anything, but I appreciate.
Doesn't have to be.
Has a feel good spirit to it, and the lyrics I really love. It's Tom Rosenthal, "You Might Find Yours." Yeah, it definitely has like yeah, I just really love the message of the song, and so that's a good one.
Love it.
It's good, yeah, good running in the woods adventure song.
Excellent.
I love what some people like. You did a great song there where you said you love the message, because it doesn't need to be that pump up song like Motley Crue "Kickstart My Heart." It can be a song that just has a good message that you want.
Totally.
So that's awesome. Thanks for that, man. We had a few minor technical issues right around the time we were going to talk about the Boston Marathon, and I was going to do this. I was going to say this to you, Patrick. You look at your race results, and you got all the first place and all the new course records under almost everyone but the Boston Marathon.
Yeah.
When are you going to win the Boston Marathon, man? You finished in the top 100 or something.
Yeah, it's still a far ways back behind the the top guys, but yeah, top 100 is nice.
I believe in you, man. I believe in you.
It is funny because, yeah, a lot of people will be like, when are you going to win Boston? And I'm like, well, I don't know how realistic that is, but I certainly will keep trying to do my best at Boston. And I think, yeah, I mean, I'd love to like be one of the top Americans and be like in the elite field one day. So yeah, I'll keep working my way up the ranks, hopefully.
Well, when that day comes, man, I hope you answer my email again.
Of course.
We'll just see him at all the local races. There you go.
Yeah, you'll find me.
Well, next time you're in Maine, next time we'll just come up to Acadia and join you and do this in person.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, no, there's some great running up here. So you're definitely worth the trip.
So before we go, I have just one more question. What's on your running calendar for the rest of the year? Because I know you're doing some volunteering here and there. You're going to go promote your brand. But what do you actually get to run?
Yeah, I'm kind of, at the moment, I've just been kind of figuring things out as I go with the race calendar. Generally, I'm not someone who likes to commit to big races too far in advance.
That's him. That's him.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's called gamophobia.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I'll definitely be hopping in some local trail stuff. There's a few.
I think you should do some hamster wheel this November if you're around, because we're gonna set up an OTR base camp and you're welcome to join.
That would be fun. Yeah, I've done one of Bill's other races.
I'll have the camper there, man. So you'll have a place to sleep.
Because he does like the Monadnock race, right? That's like a 50 miler. That already happened this year. But what else does Bill do?
Bear Brook Marathon. That one's awesome.
Which, by the way, you won that one too. Another one you won.
Yeah, that one's funny because you don't know.
Not a big deal.
You don't know what the total distance is going to be, so they call it Bear Brook Marathon. But I think the year I did it, the course was like more like 50K or so. So you kind of like get to the marathon mark, and then you're like, okay, is it 1 mile? Is it 2 miles? Like, how many miles left are there?
Surprise!
But it's fun in that regard. But the flies there are
you also
brutal.
don't know how many barrels in the woods you might find.
Ooh.
Yeah, they've got brutal flies. That's like the other thing is people try to see how many flies they'll catch on there. A lot of people like use the tape on the hats, and yeah, there's some wild catches at that race.
That's crazy.
To give you a little perspective of where I live, so at Bear Brook, there's a parking lot for the mountain bikers, and there's a trail there. There's Little Bear and Big Bear, and I love Big Bear. It's a downhill only trail. It's just smooth, and you're riding. It's not like downhill mountain biking, but I bike sometimes, maybe once a year, from my house on my mountain bike through all the trails here in Manchester, through Candia to Bear Brook, just to ride that trail and back. And it's about a 28 to 30 mile out and back ride.
Oh, wow.
And I'll whip down that trail a couple times. So I live in the Bear Brook area. So I dropped the barrels in the woods there. That guy that serial killer who did the Bear Brook murders years and years, over 30 years ago. He actually lived at the time down the street from where I live now, and it's kind of like neat facts, and also kind of weird. About once a year, all the police show up and they're digging in the basement of this house trying to find another body.
Oh, geez.
And I'm like, ooh, what's going on? So the Bear Brook murders, a really good podcast actually about it. So yeah, that's why I joked. I go, not only you don't know how long the race is, you also don't know if you're going to run into a barrel out there.
Scary. That's scary stuff.
I think they've searched for all the barrels and they've cleared them out.
That's good.
So, well, man, you're awesome. Like I said, you're awesome. You're extremely humble, and I really appreciate that about you. And you're just a kick-ass ultra no, you're not a triathlete. You're just a kick-ass ultra runner. And man, it's something you got a lot to be proud about. You're doing so many good things while running and while not running. So I'm pumped that I got to know you and throughout the last year, got to follow you and see what you do. And I can't wait to see you in a couple weeks. I'm going to do everything I can to be at Anchor Down, man.
I'm super psyched for Anchor Down. Hopefully the heat isn't too brutal on everybody, but should be fun regardless.
I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, I can't wait to see you either. And yeah, fingers crossed for last year's weather, because that was the absolute perfect running day/night. So let's hope for it again.
And that sunset was like absolutely gorgeous from last year.
Absolutely.
And you're doing social media, right? So I'll be doing social media. You'll be doing it. You can share some of your tips with me and some of your wisdom, because you've done it for a while. Yeah, I'm going to do everything. If I have to spend $100 on an overnight babysitter, I'll do it. If I had to spend more than that, I don't know. But
I'll chip in.
You're
How
the
about
man.
that?
Thanks so much. You can pay for the whole thing.
I would actually.
Patrick, thank you for coming on. Thank you for your patience with all our little technical difficulties. But you're the man. Thanks so much, dude.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Patrick.
Partick Caron on the On the Runs podcast.
Patrick, thank you so much for spending your time with us. You just have such awesome stories to share. I wish you the best of luck with your business, and I really hope that one of these days I can catch you at one of your races that you direct. Maybe
We'll
just
see
bump
you in a
into
couple
too.
weeks.
But yes, Anchor Down is coming up. What, 2 weeks? 3 weeks? But so I hope you will at least cheer me on a little while I'm doing all those laps too.
Yeah, no, he'll be there. I can't wait
Yeah.
to talk to him there. Like, I plan on being there. I'm just really afraid of a last minute thing. But
Now you can pull but you saw Barbie on my birthday
Yeah.
card, so
I can tell that.
save that and then be like, whoop, pull it out.
Pull that card. Here's
Yeah.
my hall pass
Yeah.
for the night. I'm going. Well, it's not that. It's actually not that. I
Yeah.
have to find a babysitter,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't really do that till the week of. Like, I can ask someone now and they can say yes, but her nieces who do it are not that. They don't have a calendar that far out.
Oh, I see.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And
Yeah.
work comes first. Hey, that was so much fun with Patrick, though. So
Yeah.
Patrick was in Maine,
Mm-hmm.
and that was really cool. So I guess from what we heard, is he kind of lives up there now. Like his run group they were talking about,
Mhm.
it's based out of Acadia or Move Free.
How cool is that? Yeah.
Right.
Just the scenery up there. I would stay.
So how about this? Because the internet was so spotty in Maine, it
Mhm.
wasn't Patrick's fault. It's Maine's fault.
It's Maine. It's all
Next
Maine's
time we
fault.
interview Pat and have him on the pod, let's go to Acadia.
Oh,
I've never actually spent some time to Acadia.
I have honestly never been
Yeah.
myself.
And
Maybe he could take us on a trail or something.
That would be so much fun. That would
I
be
would,
a lot.
I would like that.
Yeah. So Patrick, can we come? You know, I'm assuming the invite's there, but
We'll do a day trip.
yeah, it's going to have to be an overnighter.
We're not going to put that pressure on Patrick.
Oh no, we can get our own place.
Okay,
We
okay.
can take the camper and go camping.
Oh, well, all right, fine.
Oh, let me tell you. Or I'll get to the camper in a little bit.
Mhm.
Well, we'll just get to. Can we talk about me for a little bit in my vacation?
Talk about yourself. Go ahead.
and I'm really mad because I printed out great notes and I lost them. So I'm going off memory here.
Sure.
right.
Yeah,
So-
he has notes that he didn't tell me about, so I'm like, you're on your own.
Actually, no, we covered that stuff. That was no, we
Not
covered that
all
stuff.
of it. I didn't touch like half of that.
Well, what do you want to talk about?
Well, you asked me what I did, and I just wrote stuff down.
Well, we can keep
Well,
talking about.
fine. One thing I did, I went down to Rhode Island for a half marathon with Hype Man Dave, and our other hype man, Maurice.
You
the
saw
marathon
Maurice. That was
panda,
so cool.
Panda, yeah.
How was that?
Oh, it was so much fun. Yeah, he's a popular guy down there. Panda
But he
is.
saw you.
Well, yeah. Well, I was standing right in front of him, so he turned around and was like, "Hey!" So we finally got to meet him face to face officially. Got to say hello. He was out there crushing some miles too. He did like 50 miles that weekend or something ridiculous. I don't even know. He can correct me.
And then you met. This is cool because we just interviewed him, and we just interviewed Maurice, and you met Maurice. We just interviewed Todd, and you ran into Todd the day before the interview.
Yes, that was actually at a different race. Rachel and I were signed up for the Narragansett Running Festival half marathon, which was put on by the race director of Anchordown, Jay Paganelli.
Jay was there.
Yeah.
Paganelli, is that how we say it?
I think so. I probably butchered that, but yeah, he put on. He was doing a 10K and a half, but unfortunately, the half marathon got downgraded to
That's right.
a 10K just because the weather was so unpredictable that day. But Rachel and I still dragged our asses down to Stonehill College, and we knew that Todd was going to be there. So I was like, where do you think he'll be? And Rachel just goes, well, he's tall enough that you can't miss him. And sure enough, like right in front of us, this super tall guy. We're like, there he is. So I got to meet him, get a pic, and
so you met Todd, and everyone now kind of knows we interviewed with Todd. He's coming out soon.
Yes, he is.
We interviewed Patrick. We still worked. Like, we didn't work as much or as hard. We still scheduled podcasts. We still scheduled podcasts in the future.
Yes.
We're also working on T-shirts.
Oh, that's still in the works.
So I need to put in our final orders. Let's call it the end of the week.
Okay.
I did a feeler when I was home for a couple of days from my 2 camping trips.
Yep.
And I got about 17, 18, 19 responses.
How
Pretty
about
good. And a lot of people told me they were interested who didn't even respond to that.
Yeah.
So that's in total about 17, 18, 19.
Great.
So if you guys want a T-shirt, here's the deal.
Reach out.
Here's the deal, okay? We're not going to make any money off this. We're just going to say cover the cost, and the cost is $12. But let me know if you want a T-shirt for $12. I'll post it again later this week, and I'm putting our final order in on Friday.
Awesome.
Because he told me he can have them done by Anchordown.
No way.
So
all right.
I got to get it in by Friday. So you're listening today. It's Tuesday. Listen, $12. That's what the cost is. We'll figure out shipping. Most of you guys are local. Like, I'll have to figure out Patrick. I'll just have work ship it.
He's coming in October.
Oh, Patrick, you're not getting your T-shirt until October?
No, we can't make him wait that long. We'll figure it out. We should try to coordinate a training run with Ruth or something.
And I have the answer for a lot of you guys. They are unisex.
Ah.
A lot of people asked what the sizing was.
I think that was
they
my
unisex
first
or were they
question.
women's fit or something? They are unisex.
Great.
So it's the blue with the second on the Runs logo, the one with the toilet paper that goes across the bottom. It doesn't say podcast, just says on the Runs with the TP.
I like it.
I like it. I think it's our favorite. Like, in hockey, it's like our secondary logo. It's like it's like the one that goes on the shoulder patch and becomes your third jersey.
There you go.
Like, this is our third uni. It's our third uni.
Whimsical. I like them.
Right. So anything else exciting you did running wise while we were gone?
Did we talk about Badwater and our Hard Rock?
Oh, well,
he was off the grid.
I was.
And I was like, I think it was Tara. Me and Tara were like, oh my God, are you watching Badwater? Like, you following? And like,
we were following so many people at Badwater. Well, you two were.
Yes.
At least 4 people, because Susie ran too.
Susie Chan, I love you.
So
yeah,
we actually... So we talked about our 10,000 downloads, and we're going to go on a little bit, guys, here more than we normally do, because Patrick's interview is a little over an hour. We got some time. We haven't talked in forever.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
So when I did come home from my 2 camping trips, I was home for 3 days, had to do laundry and stuff. I noticed our numbers. I was expecting a dip in the downloads. Like, who's going to listen to a classic? Not everybody. It was a great classic with Neil.
I listened to it and I laughed my ass off. Again, it doesn't get old. I've probably listened to it like 6 times.
And then I'm like, probably a lot of people might not listen to the best of the recap of the Road to Kona.
Gotcha.
But we didn't see a dip that week. And I'm like, wow, these people are committed. Like, we were still getting... it was somewhere around that 1,400 a month range right there.
That's good.
And I'm like, what was the cause? And I looked into it, and Ashley Paulson had a huge bump.
Oh, yeah.
Like a 30% bump in downloads. It's because she won Badwater. So thanks for winning, because you helped us stay on track.
That was an incredible performance. So she earned
back to
she
back.
earned it. Yes. And speaking of, well, I guess it's not really back-to-backs, but I got to give Courtney Dauwalter her shout out again because she had run Western States, crushed a course record, and then she went like 3 weeks later, did it again at Hard Rock.
Yeah, Courtney, what a badass.
I don't understand how people can do this. She's like superhuman, but I love her. One more thing that I had on my little list, my paper here. You would have been proud of me the other day. So we're recording on a Monday. This was this past Friday. I got out of work a little bit early. I was so excited. I was like, I think I can squeeze in a run before this like monster storm was gonna roll.
Oh,
in.
this is an issue because I've been giving her crap lately about running in the rain or not.
Not gonna lie, I was like, dude, just drop it.
I had the greatest reel made about running in the rain, and she's like, wasn't having it that day.
No, I wasn't. But anyways, I was like pushing some boundaries here, and
on your run,
on my run,
not with me.
Oh yeah, on the run that I was actually doing. Like I was at one point literally running from a thunderstorm. I just had a 5-mile route planned that day, and it was coming after me. I was real nervous I was going to get stuck. And actually, we just recorded with somebody who knows firsthand about getting stuck in a crazy thunderstorm. So I was kind of freaking out. I am not a fan of running in storms like that. Rain, I have no problem running in rain, but you throw some thunder and lightning in, and I'm like a scared little 5-year-old. So
I was going to give you credit. I forget how or whatever with this reel, but at the time I was like, you need to run in the rain because, what if it rains? But then we did go to a run, walk, brew in the rain. And granted, it stopped raining like right around the time it ran. But I was like, I don't know, she might bail on this. And you didn't. So kudos to you.
I'm telling you, it's not the rain. It's the storm part. If I see on the radar, there's like red, nah, I ain't doing it. So, but I tried to make you proud. I literally outran the rain. I got hit with 3 raindrops, counted them, got to my car. I was sweaty AF. And then it went whoosh. I lucked out big time, but it was getting real nasty.
I'm proud of you. I'm always proud of you.
Thank you. But yeah, I had to bring that up. So that completes
my list.
She ran
in the rain.
Well, I almost ran in the rain. I ran in a storm almost. Well, can you count it now that it's almost?
I don't know.
I'm counting it. That was scary.
You didn't shy away from your run because of the weather.
I had
it counts.
5-mile progression run where my last mile was a sub 8. Because I was like, oh shit. Yeah, so that
I remember you sharing the screenshot. Yeah.
Oh, I had to. I was like, look at I was still so tired. Oh, look at these spots.
Well, the rain has been crazy. like the rain rained out the NASCAR.
Oh, you're right.
So, all right. The running portion of this podcast is over. I can now tell my stories and what I've been. As Erika's now looking
all good.
She's looking at the clock like it's 9:02.
It's 9 o'clock and I have not had dinner yet.
Me neither.
We didn't do our subs today.
I know. Well, I don't think we ever plan on it to go this long.
Well, I had to work a little late today too, and that kind of derailed our thing. So, but yeah,
we're trying this thing where we're trying to do our interviews at 6:30, but we're trying to get to the house around 5:30 and do the tros before. Yeah, we're trying. We're working on it.
Well, we were having some issues today with a certain video,
which is working now. Extremely frustrating. It only does it when we're in person, but we're better together.
Yes.
My time off was great. I thought I'm going to like preset a bunch of reels and post, and I did none of that. My first camping trip was up in the Twin Mountain area near Bretton Woods, near the Cog Railroad.
All right, there we go.
Completely off the grid, no service
at all.
And what's funny is
how did you survive?
It was easy. You just put the phone away. You know you don't have it. So there was a ton of biking. We would just bike around the campground, a ton of walking. We went to the river and like walked around the river. The river's like not that deep. There's 1 or 2 little pool sections.
Yeah.
Little sandy sections, lots of rocks, like big rocks, big boulders, and lots of little ones that you can easily roll an ankle on.
Kids must have loved that though.
The shoes, remember I talked about I ran in those shoes when it was raining. And I was like, I'm going to toss them now because they're very old. I actually kept them and my foot broke through the shoe that while in the river.
Well, now you have to throw them away for good reason.
I threw them away at the campground, finally, but they did its job. It was awesome. So camping was a lot of fun. We're up there. We went to the top of Bretton Woods,
Mm-hmm.
and then we went to Santa's Village.
Oh.
So Santa's Village, a couple things. One, I did have phone service, so I kind of caught up on life and saw all the messages from you and Tara.
Yep. That was fun.
Two, the roller coaster they have there.
Yeah.
That was like the roller coaster. It's Rudolph, right?
Okay.
That's the one that like broke my fear of roller coasters. I
Oh,
remember I had this huge fear of roller coasters,
but you loved that one.
and it broke my. Well, I went on it, and then I was like, I'll go do another one. And then I started to love
Ah.
roller coasters, but I was so scared of them until I went on that one as like a 5-year-old.
Okay.
Well, it's the last year of that roller coaster.
Why, they're getting rid of it?
Yeah, I don't know what they're
Oh.
doing, but it's the last year. They've made it news. It's the publicity, the PR, no more. So Adeline and I wrote it a couple times. Like, that was nice, but they're getting rid of it, and I'm really sad. So
Aw.
I obsess over things.
Yep.
Like, currently I'm obsessing about the Titanic. I watched the Titanic by myself the other night, by the way.
Like the movie
The
with
movie.
Leo and
Yeah. Well, like, so the submarine
Uh-huh.
thing happened,
Oh,
it imploded.
shit, yeah.
So now I'm like Googling everything about the Titanic.
Yeah.
I was Googling things about this roller coaster. It's over 50 years old. Do you know where it originally was?
Canopy?
Benson's.
Benson's.
In Hudson.
Ah, Benson's Animal Farm.
Right. And it had amusement park rides and everything. It
Mhm.
had a gorilla and animals and lions.
Every time I think of Benson's, there's that whole Dane Cook thing with Benson's. It'll still be there later. Yeah. Yeah, okay.
So I obsessed over it, but and I'm sad about it.
Mhm.
I'm a little sad. It's going to be gone. I can only imagine the last day Santa's Village is open. It's going to be, the line for that ride's going to be like
Oh,
insane.
probably.
You know what's really cool about that roller coaster?
What?
You go through twice.
Oh,
When you get on, it goes through twice. It's not a one-time ride.
Oh,
So
that's
it's
good.
probably only a 4-second ride, but you go through it twice.
that's nice.
So it's
Well,
awesome.
now you have some good memories with Adeline.
And
Did
by
your
the
boys
way-
go on it too, or
No, they're too small.
too small? Mm.
But Santa's Village has the greatest little water park that they didn't have when I was a kid.
Okay.
It was a hot day, and man, was that clutch in the middle of the day. I mean, it was just so freaking clutch.
Yeah, they had some gross weather around here. It's
It
just-
has been. Well, we went on a hot day. This was like July 6th or something.
Yeah.
So we saw fireworks for 4th of July at the Mount Washington Hotel.
Mhm.
Everyone parks. Like, when you drive on that road, the road we run on,
Oh,
for Reach the Beach.
Yep.
everyone parks on the road, and we got a real lucky spot in that little scenic view area. Like,
Mhm.
we illegally parked, but a lot of people
Everybody
were
was
illegally
too?
parked.
Okay.
But we got there. We thought the fireworks show was going to be at 8:30 or 9. 9 made sense because it was going to get dark. So we got there at 8, which we're like, wow, we got here just in time before it
Got real busy.
Right. And
Yeah.
it got so busy. Fireworks didn't go off till 10.
Ooh.
Try keeping 3 kids, especially 2.5-year-old
that one?
twins, not awake, but just entertained, or like not running
Oh.
off into the street or something.
Right.
Got a little, not stressful, but a little like, come on.
Just started already.
Fireworks was really cool though.
Well,
It
they
was-
should put on a. They should put on a good show. They make a lot of money up
So
there.
we try to go camping every year around that time of
Mhm.
year, and I would love to go up there
Yeah.
and see those fireworks every year. And now knowing that they're at 10 o'clock, so yeah, that camping trip was great.
Prep better. Yeah.
So that was for a week, or the work week. We came home for a few days, like seriously a few days, to do laundry. But on the way home, we stopped and dropped the camper off at NASCAR.
Mhm.
So NASCAR, I don't know how familiar you are with the racetrack, but it's this huge property. In my
I just
mind,
drove by it the other day when we were going to Gunstock.
so in my mind, this is the second best camping property that NASCAR has.
Mhm.
Talladega is by far number one. I've
Mhm.
been to almost every track.
Okay. So yeah, you'll know better than everybody else.
Just like the fan experience and everything. We're talking over 5,000 campers.
Camper. Wow.
So where you can camp all week,
Mhm.
and we had the 6 setup. We had 4 spots, 3 campers. They kind of made like a horseshoe. So you have the road, and 2 campers went perpendicular to the road, and then mine was in
Yes,
between,
yes.
going parallel to the
Yes.
road. And we just had this big, all the doors to the campers opened, and you're in the common area. We called it this common area. We had this huge lobster dinner with clams and corn, and we cooking on my new griddle. Do you
Okay.
know how, when you buy one of those, or when you get a Blackstone griddle, you have to season it 5 times?
Mhm.
I did the seasoning while I was on, we'll just call it podcast vacation.
Yeah.
It took me 2 hours, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed being off the grid. And even at NASCAR, you're off the grid because there's 5,000 campers. Call it 3 to 4 people per camper. You have over 20, probably close to 25,000 people that are
Wow.
just camping. There's no cell phone service. None.
Is there any quiet there? I feel like
The
there's
generators is like that perfect white
not. Oh, the
noise.
hum.
We
Yeah.
actually had these assholes next to us camping from Quebec,
Uh-huh.
and they didn't speak much English, and they weren't really assholes, but I don't think they knew what to expect camping about the generators. And they asked us the first night or two to turn ours off, or like even when we're using during normal. And then I think they realized by Thursday,
It wasn't gonna happen.
well, not just from us, it's everyone.
Mhm.
And they kind of shut up about it. I think they just realized, okay, this is a NASCAR thing. They're coming here to check out a race. I hope they weren't like scared, but I'll tell you what, they're not coming back camping next to us. And we were nice to them. We were generous and we were nice and we were, like friendly.
Yeah.
And we made sure to have the generators not facing their camper or try to like maneuver it so it was perfect or
Right.
just the least resistance. My favorite part though, so the whole weekend was fun. It downpoured on Sunday. Downpoured. NASCAR race got rained out.
Yeah, that was like tornado warning. That was the
Tornado
day of
warnings, flash floods. My basement was a
the
pond.
Narragansett running.
I actually drove home
Mhm.
and deflooded my
Mhm.
basement for 4 hours and
Oh,
then
that
went
was
back for the
bad,
race on
man.
Monday. Here's my favorite part. We are always discussing with our group. There's like 3 families that go.
Yeah.
Who's going to bring a fire pit? Because even though it's July, it gets a little cool at night. It's nice to have a fire. No one wants to bring one. It takes up too much space. They're dirty. So someone had one, and a lot of people tend to throw them out. And they're like, they're like, do you guys want this or whatever? And we're like, no. And then me and JR brings the lobsters. He lives on the Cape. We're like thinking, I wonder if we can hide this. And so we're at the end spot of the campground of our road. And we're like, well, there's this tree over there. And we're like, let's put it in the woods. No one's going to go in the woods and take it and throw it out. So we're walking towards the woods, and behind this big tree, which is like on the edge of the tree line,
Yeah.
is this big rock. And you can't see it from anywhere on the road, so we know where it is. And I can't wait to go back to see if the fire pit we put there is still there.
Well, that'll be interesting.
It's going to be there. We have it behind the rock, kind of upside down, not leaning against it, but
Mhm.
like we're so excited. This
Okay.
one idiot, though, he threw their old fire pit in the dumpster.
Was it still hot?
Dumpster fire.
Dumbass.
A dumpster fire happened within like 2 minutes. They walked away. They were like, they were far enough away where you could kind of point. It's those ones.
Yeah.
But fire truck and everything, blowing out the fire. This dumpster is like 25, 35 feet from our camper.
That's just dumb. People don't care. Yeah, it's sad.
So then what I do is
Yeah.
I drive the camper to Campton, and a friend of mine actually rents it. If anyone's interested and you're a good person, I'll rent you my camper for a week, not the weekend. Like a weekend's too short. So I
Yeah.
rent it out to this guy. It's a great deal at $500 for the week.
Sure.
Like most people say $140 a night. So he got a steal.
Discount. Yep.
And he's been done it for multiple years. I drove up to pick it up yesterday, and because of Barbie movie
Yes.
on my birthday, I didn't get to run or ride. It's the only thing I said I wanted to do when I was asked what's my plans. I would like to go for a run or a ride, not a long one.
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
so that's why you were up in Waterville Valley.
So I took my bike with me to get the camper. I had VIP parking. I parked at the police department because my friend happens to be the police chief.
Okay.
I actually asked him. I didn't ask to park there. I said, is there anywhere safe I can park with the camper and not have to worry about things in the back of my truck? He goes, yeah, park at the police department. I'm like, seriously? I can park there? Yeah, I'll tell whoever is there. He's the chief.
There you go.
If the chief says I
Do
can
what
do
I
it, I
want.
can do it. I rode up Route 49 to Waterville Valley and back. It's a 12-mile ride up and 12-mile back. So it's mainly all uphill on the
Yeah.
way up. My average speed going up was about 12.9 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
You want to take a guess what my average speed coming down was?
A lot more than that.
28 and a half miles an hour coming back.
Not bad.
It's a great training loop. Like, I was so pumped. Like, I got the camper. I parked it at the police department. I got changed in the camper, so I'm not like changing my truck.
Yeah.
Not getting arrested for indecent exposure
Sure,
or
you could
anything.
be like, hey guys, can I borrow your bathroom for a minute? Like,
No, I'm not gonna. I don't even know if anyone like. It's a small town. They have like one cop on at a time. And I rode up and down. I'm like, this is an awesome training route. Like, if you just need to go back and forth, you know how sometimes on a run you'll leave a water bottle or something and you do loops. It's like a great loop. Like 4 times is a century ride.
Okay.
And uphill half the time, downhill the second half. Like, oh, it's beautiful. Riding along the river.
Work hard, relief.
Right.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. So that was kind of like my last
Hurrah.
3 weeks. You know, I really have
busy.
to. I signed up for that triathlon. I need to ramp it up, or not ramp it up because it's too late to ramp it up. But I need to get in the rides because I haven't been getting in the rides.
You'll be fine for the run.
Well, I've gone swimming with Nicole, and I feel
is coming up this weekend.
I feel great about my swim.
Good.
I think for everyone doing it, the swimming was. I'll let Nicole tell you about what the open water swims have been like.
Maybe we should get her for an OTR live.
No, it's planned, and I already planned Sarah too.
Planned it and all right.
Sarah too. Sarah Halleck. We'll do 2 separate ones. She's doing it. So good luck to Sarah and Nicole.
Way to go, guys. I'm proud
good luck in your first ever triathlon up in Wolfboro. But yeah, I still made like the post like tomorrow on the pod.
Yeah.
But I took a little break off the grid. Like when the phone doesn't work, you're forced just to not. And then eventually you stop looking for it or looking at it.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're not going to get very many vacations until the end of the year. So,
well, actually, so I'm taking another week-long camping trip the last week of August that leads into Labor Day.
Oh.
Because there's no summer camps and there's no school.
Gotcha.
So I already booked the campground. Half the week will be just me and the kids. NASCAR was just me and the boys in Adeline. Like, they had a freaking blast. There's so much more to do. That like they never even went into the racetrack.
Okay.
There's so much going on. You should have seen how excited the boys were about the Holler Parade too. Like there's a big truck come by. Blah, 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 blah. They were so excited. So I had really good. Like this was. I am in love with our routine. So I hope you're ready for the next 4 months.
Well,
August,
you're
September,
gonna have
October,
to work
November.
Around my race schedule because my race schedule ramps up. So you work around me now. I worked around you. You work around me.
Do you have any races on Mondays?
Well, I get home.
We're good.
No, I fly home from my 100-miler on a Monday.
Well, I do have Adeline.
Well, I might. Well,
you're flying.
You're gonna want to hear about it.
You're flying to the 100-miler. That's cool. I didn't know that.
It's in Virginia.
It's an easy drive.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
I would drive to Myrtle Beach in North Carolina so many times.
I looked this up. It's like a 19-hour drive.
That is not true. I drive to Charlotte in 15, which is really a 17-hour drive. I was not speeding.
Hold on.
It's fun to talk about us sometimes. We won't bore you all the time. We'll always leave it.
It's still a 13-hour.
We'll always leave it at the end. How many miles?
809.
Yeah, we'll never talk like this in the intro.
I am not driving
800 miles?
No, because I can't make Brandon drive that because I will not drive.
So where are you
home
flying
with
into?
We're flying into Charlotte and then flying into Tri-Cities, which is in Tennessee.
Yep. I know.
And we're 35 minutes away.
When you're in Charlotte, stop at the Whiskey River restaurant. It's in the airport.
We have a 2-hour layover.
It's in the airport.
I'll think about
Not
it.
even for a drink or some wings.
But you know what's cool?
It's in Terminal E.
We're flying just regular coach on the way down, but I have first class tickets on the way home.
Ooh.
Yeah, I splurged.
Wow.
There you go.
That's it, guys. This has been it is now.
Talk your ear off. I need dinner.
It's well deserved.
I gotta do my mile.
This one was worth it. Next week will be shorter because we'll be back. You haven't done your mile yet?
No.
I ran. Do I smell, by the way?
I didn't smell.
Because I ran and came straight here. I only changed my t-shirt. Here's what I'll end with. My t-shirt.
I'm not smelling him, people. This is not happening.
My t-shirt is the Sunrise Ascent t-shirt, and I have not even fundraised for it because honestly, I fundraised so much for this in the past, and I don't like asking for fundraising money when I'm not able to help others fundraise. And I do feel slightly bad. So many people have been reaching out lately.
Are you doing it with Karen? Karen's doing it too.
Yeah. So Sunrise Ascent is this Sunday, bright and early. I'm doing it with Karen and Jay. It's Karen's first. It's my 11th or 12th. It's the adaptive hike. I will share the link. No, but if I remember, I will share the link. I'll try. No one needs to feel committed to donating even $1. If you want to donate, it's awesome. The money goes towards adaptive sports, and it helps fund for the equipment of someone who can't ski, someone who can't bike or hike, helps fund the equipment and to get the people out there to do it. It's my only big fundraising event of the year. I wouldn't call it a big fundraising event, but it's a fundraising event. It's my big charity event of the year. But I'm not like, I've done it so many years. I show up. I kind of help lead the team to beginning. In the beginning, I tell them like, listen, you need to be here. This is how you do this position. There's many positions. I'll try to get some extra content. That's what I'll do for you guys.
Sure.
I will get some extra content and I'll post it. Maybe I'll make
so
it.
you can see what actually
I
goes
will
on.
edit it for a YouTube video.
There you go.
Because I'm going to learn it and we're going to try to do a little YouTube video at Anchor Down.
Yeah. Oh, we are. Oh, you didn't tell me that part.
We're going to try.
Only if he shows up.
Well, that's true. If I'm not
I ain't
there.
doing it. I have goals, and I am not going to let content get in the way.
The YouTube video is going to be like me vlogging.
There you go.
It's not going to be you vlogging. Like
I know that if you're not there,
I'll bring you in.
It's not happening until the very end when I'm done.
I'm going to vlog. I'm going to vlog from Anchor Down.
There you go.
So,
but that'll be cool if you could do a video from the top of Mount Washington and see how everything goes.
Well, the whole thing, so you guys can see. And so next year we can make a big deal out of this.
Sure.
That's what we'll do for like my 12th or 13th. We'll make a big deal.
There you go.
It's always, well, it's not always the first Sunday in August because this year it's the last Sunday in July. But it's around that time.
Perfect.
Can't wait. We're going to be camping in a tent under the stars Saturday night.
That'll be nice.
With Karen. And, well, not Jay. He always gets a hotel. I would
he doesn't like to rough it.
I will say this. He always said it was his girlfriend who wanted the hotel. Well, he's now on his third girlfriend of doing this hike. I don't think it's his girlfriend or friends who want the hotel. I think Jay wants the hotel. He just wants to sleep in a nice warm bed.
Why not? I am not a big camping fan myself.
I'm pretty excited to sleep in a tent again, to be honest.
There you go.
Yep. Cool.
All right, you guys, we're gonna let you go. You want to do the spiel?
The spiel. So yeah, I teased it in the very beginning. Patreon, guys, we have a Patreon page. You can find everything in our Instagram bio. So follow us on Instagram. In the bio is the link tree to the Patreon if you want. And the other one I really want you to follow and subscribe to is our YouTube page because I am trying to build this. Not for the past month, obviously. I took some time off, but I'll tell you what. You're listening on Tuesday, Wednesday, I will post. So tomorrow will be the Lindsay and Tara Boston Marathon episode, the full interview on YouTube. It will be there Wednesday. All right, cool.
Awesome.
This has been a blast. The 10,000 downloads, a huge deal, huge accomplishment. People are now reaching out to us to come on. Some people are telling us you need to talk to so-and-so and go out there and get them, or you get them for us. I appreciate it. Don't stop. Keep following. Share the podcast.
See, you say it so well. Why would I take that over?
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Take us home.
You guys are so awesome. You know we love you. Don't forget to stretch.
3, 2, 1, yeah!
When he killed these people, he put them in the barrels and threw it out with all the trash. And I'll let you listen to the rest of the podcast because it's really, really, really good. It's really good.
Okay, I will.
So,
maybe I'll listen to it before I see you guys at Anchor Down.
Let us know your thoughts.
We'll get Patrick's book review on the Bear Brook murders
because I'm gonna have to listen to it too.
Yeah.